Welcome to the Happy Humanoids Perspective, where your beliefs are challenged, thoughts provoked, and where you may find your happy place whether you like it or not.
And here are your hosts, Edith and Miles. Woohoo!
Woohoo! Welcome everyone to our show. We are the Happy Humanoids, and this is the Questionable Reality. My name is Miles Keever, and I am an Access Consciousness Certified Facilitator, joined here by my lovely companion friend, Love, is. Hello.
Edith, well, hello everyone, hello. And I'm an Access Consciousness Certified Facilitator as well. And welcome to our show. Thank you for being with us tonight.
Thanks for joining us, whether it's tonight or tomorrow or 10 years from now.
Yeah. So tonight, this is our 46?
45.
46? 45.
45.
Cool.
How old I am, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah, and we talk about space tonight.
Yeah.
I didn't get what you said, sorry.
That's my age, sort of. My age?
Your age?
Actually, I'm about 17, so I go by my mental capacity and functionality.
Yeah, I gave a facelift class today, and I asked, okay, how old are you really? And yeah, I was close to you. I was 17. I was 18.
Oh yeah.
So I'm older than you are.
You're so much more mature.
Yes. So this topic for tonight's podcast is, I need my space, and creating space without separation.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you have to say about that?
Well, I think there's two basic, I'm just say two basic sort of directions to go in, but there's certainly branches off of that and twigs and leaves and things, caterpillars. That there's the idea of needing space and like needing to create the separation. And there's also the idea that goes in line with that we maybe misidentify and misapply what creating space actually is. And I think that we tend to, maybe in the past, maybe no longer, to create separation and call it my space. And another way to look at this is really acknowledging what you need and creating the space that you need in your life. So that's what we're going to discuss tonight and do some clearings, and it's going to be spontaneous, and we'll just go from there.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you have something, or?
No, you can go.
Okay, well, yeah, I'll just go on with the idea that, maybe there's this idea that I need my space. There's a very common phrase, I need my space. And it can be a way of rejecting someone or creating the barriers, or and that may feel comfortable for us. It's like, and there's one thing about that, that when we create barriers and we put up, oh, where'd you go?
I'm here.
Hello? You're sliding off to the side.
Yeah, I'm changing space.
Wow. Getting more space.
Yeah.
Different space.
Yeah.
So it's that idea that like I need my own space means that we have to close off or isolate ourselves from the rest of the world. And it's not, well, ask yourself, is that expansive? Do you feel light when you do that? Like, is there a sense of freedom? There may be a sense of comfort or familiarity, but is that expansive for you? Because in improv, I'm going to use improv as an example, probably because that's what I'm doing right now here in Chicago. There's this idea of creating the barrier, and we can do that in different ways. We can do that by yelling at someone, or isolating ourselves, or sort of cowering down, or whatever kind of ideas that we have about what creating space means. It basically imprisons ourselves into not having more than the parameters of our prison, and that doesn't really allow for something other than what already exists. It doesn't join with the consciousness of something to create something greater. Hi, who's that?
It's Gina.
Hello, Miss Gina. So everywhere that we've in the past misaligned and misidentified and misapplied the idea of creating, I need my space as expanding our energy to do something else and really cutting off the possibilities of receiving. Will you please destroy and uncreate all that times a godzillion?
Yeah, right and wrong in that fucking put on 9 shorts, suppose. And yeah, you said something interesting about the space. Like, yeah, sometimes when we desire to create our space, we're going to create a separation with others. So how do we create our space without separating from others? Well, I'm going to talk about my way to do it. And yeah, for me, like right now I'm in Quebec and I'm having a lot of classes every day. I begin in the morning, finish like we're 8 o'clock here, and I haven't stopped. I ate so fast for dinner, and it was like I never stop. And I said, and when I'm in the doing, I tend to be in the doing, and while I'm in my space, I think when I'm creating, when I'm in the class, and at the same time, it's not as if I am at home and working alone in my own space and being alone with myself or in my office.
Yeah.
So the way for me to create my space is to ask my body in the morning, okay, what do you require here to be at ease? Because for me to be in my space, to create my space is to be at ease with me. And the thing to do for me is to do it with my body. So I ask my body, what do you desire? What is required here to be at ease? And for me, my space is about being, when I'm in my space, is there is that kind of expansion, there is that kind of peace, there is that kind of calm. And by doing this, and I ask my body, what is required? Do you require for me to run the implant band? Do you require for me to breathe? Because in the breathing, I go and get so much space for me when I am contracted, when I am very, very busy. So when I'm doing this and I'm in, how do we say that? Inspiring? Do we say it's inspiring?
Inhaling.
Inhaling, yeah. We say inspiring in French, but inhaling in
The other way
1, 2. Yeah.
So you inspire over there and inhale over here. I don't know where that's going, but thank you for that.
Yeah. So I'm inhaling for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the secret here is to keep it for 4. And this is where something is building up. This is where my body gets nourished. And this is where it creates some space for me. And then I exhaling for 4. And I do this until I get a sense of ease in my body. And I have this sense of ease and peace and space.
Yeah.
So yeah. So what are you doing? What do you have some kind of ritual with yourself to create your space? And what could be, if you don't, what could you do? To create that space with yourself? And yeah, and so everything that doesn't allow you to know, be, perceive, and receive this, well, and create and destroy it all times a godzillion.
Yes, right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pocket and short, suppose, and beyonds. I've done that exercise before, inhaling and exhaling. I did it a lot faster until I just go unconscious, and that's the way I create my own space. I just go flat. No, not really, I'm just kidding. So one of the ways I think is acknowledging really what being true to yourself, being truthful, and acknowledging what it is that you require is something that may be overlooked. And so, Edith, like you were saying, that you ask your body what your body wants, and that also is like I would say a step maybe beyond or further along than maybe some people that they don't really even acknowledge their body. It's just like they're you know, if you're new to access this, you know, our bodies are something that we can acknowledge and be grateful for, but it doesn't, it's not us. So acknowledging our body, number one, is a great process to do. And also, what is it that's required? You know, what is it that you're not receiving? And being clear about, okay, I need time, or I need whatever that is, and acknowledging that and creating that. And it's also important with relationships. Like if you're, some people live in tight quarters with other people, whether it's roommates or family or marriage couples or people dating, there's the idea of that the parameter of one's household is defined as their space. And maybe they need a couple hours a day to be by themselves, to have their own thoughts, and to maybe they have some ritual like Edith, you do with your breathing. It's acknowledging that for yourself and not giving yourself up to the relationship or whatever that is, if it's family, again, like I said, or roommates or whatever, but acknowledging that you function better if you, let's say you have a couple hours to yourself, or maybe you just feel better about yourself if you have the luxury to watch TV or whatever and not be interrupted, or to do whatever it is, play music, or, you know, take a nap, whatever. And making a deal and deliver with people that are involved with you, saying, hey, this is what I require from me, and what would it take to be clear about that and proceed with that in mind. So it's like you're honoring yourself and acknowledging what it is, what you require, and creating the space in that way. So everywhere that you are ignoring the awarenesses that are there for you about what it is that you truly desire and require as a pathway to ease of living, we destroy and uncreate all of that times a godzillion, please.
Right and wrong, good and bad, hook and put all nine shorts, pause and beyond. And you said something about, I need time. Do you need time, or do you need, you said, you mentioned this about the, in your conversation, where sometimes people will say, I need time.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing is, do you need time, or do you require space? Because sometimes when I feel that I don't have a lot of time, what do I do energetically is that I contract. And we are in energy, a space, and a consciousness. So when there's not so much space, where am I? You know, it's like, so what if when you are in that space where you don't have a lot of time, you create some space for you, and it's easier. We create so much more ease in that. The other thing I want to talk about is, where are you in your space? Are you present? Are you outside? Where are you? Are you outside of your body? Are you behind? Are you in front? Are you absent? Did you disappear? Where are you? Where are you in your space? And I invite you to ask yourself that question a few times a day, just to realize, are you in your head? A lot of people can find themselves in their head. So just to become aware of what you are doing. And what about asking this question, what would it take for me to be present with where I really be in my body and my being? Yeah, and everything that doesn't allow you that, well, you know, and create and destroy it all times a godzillion.
Yes, right, wrong, good, bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. There's one idea about creating, so I'll probably talk about separation a lot because it's tied in, and just one aspect about what I was saying in the beginning about the idea that I need my space, the phrase is about creating separation. And when I'm in that space of, or I'll say in that place of separation, it doesn't invite the possibility of connecting to the universe or that oneness or whatever that you would like to call it. And what I think it's a limiting factor about closing oneself in as a way to not be connected to the the potency that the potential that we truly be. So it's like if I'm creating this separation within myself, what is it about myself that the qualities that I have or the qualities that you have that you're not acknowledging, that if you would allow yourself to be vulnerable and to be in the space of be in the true space of receiving, what could you create? Because it's like if we're trying to function from the space of being in that trap place of barriers and protection and not wanting to be out in the world, then it doesn't allow the contribution of the universe, the universal energy, to contribute to you and for you to shine. And so that's one way that I think that we keep ourselves small, is by thinking that we need our own space, but it's not really space we're talking about. We're talking about, I want to create myself as being small, and I don't want anyone else to assist or to find me. It's like showing up, it's like being available to something greater and giving up the idea of trying to control. So everywhere that we're not willing to be vulnerable and receive the energy of our true being, we now destroy and create all of that times a godzillion, please.
Right and wrong, good and bad, puck and puddle, nine shorts, bows and beyonds. And the thing is, when you try to create space and separate yourself from other people, well, what you do, who is the first person you separate from? It's you. Yeah, it's because if we are one, we are unity. Well, guess what? If you separate yourself from other, you separate yourself from you, because this is unity. So everywhere you believe that by separating yourself from other will give you your space, will you uncreate and destroy it all times a godzillion.
Yes, right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pocket, all night shorts, boys and beyonds.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do I want to say here? I had a thought there, just escaped me. So like everywhere that we are creating separation or the energy, what would I want to say? I don't recall. So anywhere that we're not, I'd say anywhere we're not vulnerable, like one way to explore the possibility of being in the space or in that space is lowering our barriers and all the places that we put up the need to be separate, the feeling of familiarity and being closed in and feeling small. It's allowing the barriers that we have to lower and to receive all of the judgments or whatever that is that we have of ourselves, and move on. So everywhere that we have in the past and anywhere in the future that we are planning to put up our barriers because there's some situation that we're thinking about in the future that, I got to protect myself from this person, or I got to protect myself from this situation, or I'm not comfortable in this situation, so I'm going to already pre-plan my attack or my barriers to protect myself, and that really just keeps ourselves small. So everything that is, we please destroy and uncreate all of that energy times a godzillion.
Yes, right and wrong, good and bad, puck and pot, all nine shorts, bows and beyonds. And sometimes it can be difficult to create that space with yourself, because is there someone else in your space? I mean, in your energetic space?
Yeah.
Are you alone, or is there like a lot of people in your space? So like entities or demon. So, and do you want to keep them? Because there are a lot of people who want to keep these entities because it's like their friend. So they're not alone. They don't feel alone in their life. And well, I invite you to ask yourself, if I choose to keep these entities there, what will my life be in 5 years? Yeah. And if it's expensive, it creates more for you, fine. And if it doesn't create more for you, well, this is what it creates in your life right now. To not, it's your choice to not choose to let them go. So it's your choice. You choose for you. Yeah. So if you're ready, if you have some entities in your space that doesn't allow you to take your space, to be in your space, so is it time for you to let them go? Truth, if it's time, truth. Who are you, truth? Were you before that? Truth. Oh, who were you before that? Who were you before that? Truth. Who were you before that? Truth. Who were you before that? It is time for you to let go. Thank you so much. Truth. What was your job before that? Truth. What was your job before that? Truth. What was your job before that? Truth. Before that. Before that. So thank you so much for your contribution. May all you leave with your luggage and your electromagnetic and chemical imprinting of all kinds. Right, wrong, good, bad, POD, all 9 shorts, pros and beyonds. And if there are some more, I invite you to continue to do this, to clear the space for you to be with yourself in your own space. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like the idea of being independent or being like our individual selves. It's a place in which we can create separation, and anywhere that we have like a point of view is actually creating separation. It's like I have a different point of view than you, and so there's like a little barrier that we put up there, and there's that need to be individual, my individuality, and holding on to that definition of who we are and what we're about. And these are my favorite things. These are the things I don't like. And these are the people that I do like to hang out with. And these other people, I don't really like to hang out with them so much. I'm not really comfortable with them. Those are all points of view that we create these little barriers and little like little pieces of fence that are spread out all over our reality. And it basically blocks the energy of having something other than what already exists. So it's the idea of protecting us, protecting the idea of the individual, maybe because there's something that we're aware of that we're not willing to, maybe we're just afraid of the greatness that we truly be. And for whatever reason, we've been told that we can't shine like that, and we must be careful, we must put up barriers. So everywhere that we're doing that as a way to minimize the contribution that we can be to this reality or this universe, this world, will you please now destroy and uncreate all of that times a godzillion?
Yes, right and wrong, good and bad, book and put all 9 shorts, pros and beyonds. And I would like to add a little detail here when you say that. Yeah. When you say that about, well, I don't like to be with these people, and I look at, is it like an acknowledgement of you, or is it like a judgment? Look at the energy that is there, because this is when you are in the judgment of something, this is where you create separation with the rest. And if you are in this space of acknowledging, hey, it doesn't create so much for me to be in this with these people.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, it's about acknowledging you. So it's about, look at the energy that you're in when you say this. So that will be the thing here where we can, that kind of thing can make a big difference too at the same time. Yeah. Are you on the adrenaline mode? I have been for a lot of years in my life. I am less, much less. I still have my moments. And
look how beautiful you turned out, even all that adrenaline.
Thank you. You're always as nice as you are, you. Thank you. And it's been three weeks we haven't seen each other. So yeah, there could be some kind of romantic thing between us sometimes when we talk.
I hope it continues, even when we're together. It's there.
Yeah, it's true too.
Are you trying to create separation with us?
No.
Oh, she's losing it, folks.
Yeah.
No, we'll stay with us. Stay with us, sweetie. Hang on there.
Yeah. So, when are the time that you try to create separation with others? And uh, do you realize that when you do this, you create separation with yourself? Yeah, we talked about this before. And I was talking about the adrenaline. I was like, going somewhere else. Yeah, in the adrenaline, do you have your space?
Mm.
Do you really have your space? Or is it the kind of space that you're used to? And well, for me, this when I said this is, well, my point of view, and my way for me to come out of this is to either have my bars run,
Mm.
or run some of my own bars and do this breathing thing. Because and at the same time, our body is like a sponge. You know, it's a sensory organ,
Mm-hmm.
and it takes everything. So if you are with a lot of people, because I can't see it when I'm here, I'm facilitating classes and I am with people. And at the end of the day, when I ask my body, okay, body, it's another way for me to create my space, to find my space. Okay, everything that you took today from people, all the energy that you took and everything, yeah, all the energy you took from everyone and all the environment, will you return all that to sender with consciousness attached?
Yes.
And it really, yeah, right and wrong, good and bad, luck and thought, all nine shorts, goes and beyond. And by doing this, it seems like I find back my space with myself. It's like, ah. So, and I ran my bars for 14 weeks every day for 14 weeks. And I had my bars run by someone every week as well. And I wanted to do this because I was waking up at 3 or 4 in the morning. It was in winter in Canada. It was so cold. So I didn't want to get up at that time. So I said, okay, I will run my bars. And I began to do this. And I saw on the adrenaline, for the adrenaline things, is that all the electricity that it creates in the body.
Mm.
And when there is all this electricity in the body, there's no space for who we truly be. It's like, so when I was running my bars in the morning, I could see when the day before I was doing what kind of activities I was doing, and in the morning what kind of electrical charge came out, through my finger. And when I was with a lot of people, it was like so much. So I invite you, when you are with people, even if your work, at the end of the day, to return to sender all of that, or even to run even just your implant band,
Yeah.
or even at night if you cannot sleep. I ran my aging toaster, and it helps me sleep like a baby. So there are a lot of ways. Those are my ways. What are your ways to create your own space,
Yeah.
to create your space where you become at ease with who you are? So everything that doesn't allow you to know, be, perceive, and receive this, and all the yes, but will you now and create and destroy it all times a godzillion.
Yes, right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pocket, on a shorts, boys and beyonds. I have 3 quick things I want to talk about. One thing is, like you said, Edith, about taking on the stuff. Like today, we did a lot of emotional work, like acting and taking on different emotions, and our body still feels that. So, like the emotion that you take from your colleagues, or some aggression from TV or news or the politics or whatever that is, you just return to sender, or you can just do like a 1, 2, 3 or clear, or different techniques to allow your body to let that go. That's one thing. Another thing is to expand your energy out. If you're feeling trapped, or you don't have any, like you're in a space where you don't, like, people really bug you, or you're in a situation where maybe you can't choose something, or you're not choosing something else, and you're kind of choosing to be in this situation, just allowing your energy to expand out, and to create more allowance for what exists in your reality. That's the 2. And the third thing is, if I have a point of view or a position that I'm defending in conversation, I have to feel secure enough to where I feel my defense is strong enough. Then I can talk with someone. I can talk with someone up on the street. And what that does is create such a barrier that it's like people feel that resistance. There's that, like, this big barrier of, if I have something to defend and I'm going to defend it, and maybe I'm not approaching someone with that defense idea, but if I have a lot of things that I want to defend about who I am or what I believe in or what I'm against, when I'm in conversation with people, I bring that with me, and that barrier is there. And there's people in my class that are so easy to talk with, and I'm just amazed how it's like they don't defend. This is one person I think about. He doesn't defend himself. He's just so vulnerable and allows people to take him for what he is. And he's like liked by everyone, and he knows so many other people in the whole place. And what I think that is he doesn't have the defense. Like, he doesn't have his points of view that he's defending, and he doesn't create that separation. So people approach him easily, talk with him. And it's like, I feel like he's like my good friend. I've only known him for a little while, and I talked just a little bit with him, but I feel like he's a really good friend of mine. So what would it take for us to have that capacity, acknowledge that capacity to lower our barriers, and to let go of the idea that when we have a barrier, it's up that we're protected, because it's just the opposite. Like, no one, it's like we have few people that want to help you. It's like there's few interactions. There's just like, there's not that energy of support, or not support, but like that energy of that just great energy of people like wanting to be around you. And that's something that I aspire to, is to be, I want that. I want to have more of this guy's energy, that he's just so vulnerable and then doesn't defend himself. And he's everyone. It's just amazing. It's just like he's like a magnet for people, like all over, all kinds of people just like come and talk to him. We'll be walking on. It's like every third person, hey, how's it going? And it's like, wow, this guy is really amazing. So anyway, that's what I want to say. And what would it take for us to choose that today, and to create this energy of oneness, and everything that doesn't allow us to do that, and everything that we thought that we can't do that for whatever reason, will you please destroy it and uncreate all that times godzillion.
Right and wrong, good and bad, puck and putt, all nine shorts, pause and beyond. That's already the end of the show, our show today. Yeah, this week. Next week, we won't have any, because we won't be available.
Nope.
I'll go and meet my love in Chicago. Yeah. And this is the day that I arrive. I arrive at 6, I believe, so we won't have time to. And since there's just 1 hour, so Miles, when we are at 8 here, it's 7. So we won't have time to be in time. So so we will be there the week after. Yeah. So thanks for being with us.
And we'll see you again in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Take care.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, and please give us a honk of support by subscribing, commenting, and sharing the show with your friends. Or if you didn't like the show, please share it with your enemies.
Goodbye, everyone.